Mike, looking at a direct comparison between the Massillon Tigers and the McKinley Bulldogs, a direct comparison, Massillon is averaging 217 yards rushing. McKinley, 137.8 yards. Passing, the Massillon Tigers are averaging 153.8 yards. McKinley, 91.6 yards. Total, Massillon total offense through 9 ball games, 370.8 yards. McKinley, 229.4 yards. Massillon is scoring at a 32.6 points per ball game clip. McKinley, 20.5. Points given up. Massillon has given up 6.5. McKinley, 9.8. Turnovers are even. Both teams have turned the ball over 9 times. And the penalty situation. This is interesting, Mike, as we went along, we thought the Massillon Tigers had a lot of penalties. They did. 40 times for 411 yards. McKinley, though, has been flagged 64 times for 588 yards.
But last year, that wasn't a big statistic either. The Bulldogs were flagged a lot. For instance, in the game against New Philadelphia, the Bulldogs were hit for over 200 yards in penalties, but it did not seem to hurt them.
Looking at the series, Mike, this is the 88th renewal. Massillon leads the series overall, 48 wins. McKinley has 34 wins, and there have been 5 times in this illustrious series. It started back in 1894. McKinley winning that ball game 16-6. They played twice that year. They should say they played twice for 11 years. Finally, Massillon Tigers tied the ball game in 1907. Up to that point, McKinley won 11 straight. First win for Massillon was in 1908. The following year, Massillon won that ball game 12-6. The longest winning streak by the Massillon Tigers in this series has been 9 games, from 1957 through 1965. The longest winning streak by McKinley has been 11, the first ones through 1894, starting in 1894 through 1906, as Bulldogs head for the locker room. Biggest Camp McKinley win was in 1900 when McKinley took it to the Massillon Tigers 46-0. The biggest Massillon win came in 1960 when Massillon shut out McKinley 42-0. Total points scored in this series, Massillon 1,108 points, McKinley 893. And what a ball game we are expecting to have here. It's a sea of orange, red, and black this afternoon at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium.
Dave, some of the more memorable games, I'll try to highlight them quickly between the two schools. Of course, last season's McKinley's thrilling 9-6 victory. In 1980, they played twice. Once in the regular season, McKinley dominated and defeated the Tigers right here in Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, 16-7. But in the playoff game, it was entirely different. The Massillon Tigers over at Foster Stadium knocked off McKinley 14-6. And in that ball game, Massillon showed a fine defense as they stopped McKinley 3 times inside the Tiger 20 in the 4th quarter. In 1978, a game which I'm sure a lot of Massillon people remember as one of the all-time great comebacks for the Tigers. The Tigers were down 10-0 with 6 minutes left, but All-State quarterback Brent Offenbecker rallied the Tigers with 2 late touchdown strikes to end Kurt Straughter, and the Tigers won that ball game 13-10. In that game, Offenbecker hit on 17 out of 20 passes for 177 yards. In 1977, McKinley 9-0. They were playoff bound. Massillon 7-2. Nothing but pride on the line. The game was at Foster Stadium. McKinley the favorite. The final score, Massillon 21, McKinley nothing. And in that game, Offenbecker once again proved his worth as he hit on 7 out of 9 for 162 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for a touchdown. And in 1974 in Tiger Stadium, McKinley came in once again 9-0 and number 1 in the state. Massillon had a mediocre 5-4 record, but the Bulldogs fell victim to the Tiger pride, losing 20-15 on a Greg Wood to Eddie Bell 33-yard touchdown strike with 6 seconds left for the upset. However, in 1973, it was the Tigers that were playoff bound, supposedly. They led the division. They were 8-0-1. The Bulldogs that season alternated quarterbacks, something that you will see today. Back in 1973, the Bulldogs had Garland Burns and Rock Hannes as their 2 quarterbacks. And McKinley just dominated Massillon at Foster Stadium. The final there was McKinley 21, Massillon nothing. In 1972, the first year of the playoffs, the Tigers came in 9-0. The Bulldogs were 8-1, and Massillon won that ball game 12-3 as Kevin Westover, the quarterback, was the star of that ball game as he threw for 1 touchdown and ran for the other. And in 1970, Both teams were ranked high in the polls. Massillon, was number 1. McKinley, number 3. Massillon wiped out the Bulldogs 28-0 as Larry Harper took the opening kickoff back 93 yards for a touchdown, and Mike Margaret gained 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dave mentioned Massillon's 9-game winning streak from 1957 through 1965. It was broken in 1966 right here at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. McKinley won that ball game 25-16, and the loss for Massillon was significant because that defeat gave them their only losing season in the modern era of football. It started in 1932. The Tigers and the Bob Spielman ended up 4-5-1, and for the Bulldogs, Leroy Wilder scored 3 times, including a magnificent punt return late in the ballgame to start away the victory. And in 1965, under Earl Bruce, the Massillon Tigers came from a 14-0 halftime deficit to defeat the Bulldogs. The final score there was Massillon 18, McKinley 14, but in probably the most incredible comeback in this series, in 1964, both teams 9-0, Massillon number 1, McKinley number 2, right here at Tiger Stadium. The Bulldogs led 14-0 going into the fourth quarter. The Massillon Tigers starting quarterback, Steve Canner, was injured. He was replaced by Dave Seagog. And all Seagog did was rally the Tigers to 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And his 15-yard touchdown broke the tie, and the Tigers went on to win the ballgame and the state championship 20-14. And in a couple more significant games back in 1960 in the worst lot for the Tigers, Massillon won that one 42-0 as fullback Art Hastings gained over 200 yards on the ground and halfback Ken Dean 138 yards. And in 1940, probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Massillon Tiger football teams of all time under Coach Carl Brown. The Tigers came in 9-0. The Bulldogs were 8-0-1. Massillon was unscored upon in all 9 games. However, McKinley shocked them, scoring first, and they actually only trailed 7-6 at half. But the Tigers caught fire as Harris Gillen, who later started as a punter for the Cleveland Browns, caught a couple touchdown passes and averaged 46 yards a punt, and the Tigers rolled to a 34-6 victory.
Mike, while we have the opportunity now, let's take a look at today's starting lineups. First of all, we'll look at the Massillon Tigers offensively. Our quarterback will be number 13, Brian DeWitt. He's 5'11", 165 pounds, and a junior. The right wing back is Jim Bush, 6'1", 185-pound senior. He has a lot of speed. The fullback, it's one of 2 people, Tim Stanford. Number 25, he's a junior, 5'11", 205 pounds, or we may see junior Tom Bruno. He's 6'1", 200 pounds. The left wing back will be Chris Spielman, 6'2", 206 pounds, and a junior. That fine offensive line for the Massillon Tigers at center, number 56, Rick Hammock, 6'2", 200 pounds, and a senior. At the guard, Mike Bushman, 5'11", 230-pound senior. At the other guard, number 67, Charles Calhoun, 6'2", 240 pounds, and a senior. The offensive tackle for the Massillon Tigers, number 75, Jim Schwedler, 6'3", 210 pounds, and a senior. Ty Beadle, number 78, the right tackle, 6'2", 265 pounds, and a senior. The receiving corps, Jim Geiser leads the team in receiving, number 83. He's a senior, 6'3", 170 pounds. Number 18, the other receiver, Gary Conley, 6'1", 175 pounds, and a senior. They're rotating with number 84, John Pierce, a senior, 6'3", 165 pounds. Mike, you want to do the McKinley offense for us?
Taking a look at the Bulldog offense, first of all, starting with the line. The tackles, number 72, Carl Washington, 6'3", 230.
Tiger Swing Band on the field right now performing for the ball game. Mike, we have a little bit more time. Let's take a look at the starting defenses now. First of all, do McKinley.
Both Kent and McKinley at the defensive end. They are both rather good size. Randy Kaufman, number 86, 6'2", 200 pounds, the senior. The other end, number 88, Dale Jackson, who started some of the ball games last season for the Bulldogs. Jackson, 6'4", 225, and a junior. The tackles, number 59, Artis Cobb, 6 foot, 192, and a senior. And number 64, Jamie White, 6 foot, 199, and a senior. White is also a returning starter. The nose tackle, number 73, the key to the McKinley defensive improvements this season after a lackluster start. Anthony McCullough, number 73, 6'4", 212 pounds, a junior. The linebackers, you'll be seeing 2 of 3. Victor Park, 6 foot, 208, and a senior. Leo Cadden, number 56, 5'10", 186, and a junior. Number 52, Marvin Wynn, 5'10", 186, and a junior. Taking a look at the McKinley secondary, number 14, cornerback Chris Montgomery, again 5'8", 158, and a senior. The safety, number 21, Terrell Clifford, 5'10", 158, and a senior. The cornerback, number 47, Kevin Thomas, 5'11", 161, and a senior. And probably McKinley's best all-around athlete and a potential All-Ohio candidate, number 37, the monster back, Garland Rivers, 6'2", 182 pounds, and a senior. The Bulldogs place kicker for points after touchdowns and field goals, Anthony Taylor, number 19, 6'1", 175, and a junior. Their punter, number 76, Matt Reese, 6'3", 218, and a senior. Reese is also a backup offensive tackle, and the man who handles the kickoff duties for the Bulldogs, number 42, Marty Takala, 6 foot, 170 pounds, and a junior.
Mike, they're announcing the seniors in the Massillon Tiger Swing Band. Let's listen to the announcer.
Located in the town plaza, Massillon. And now, stay tuned for the WTIG broadcast of Massillon Tigers football.
pounds, and a senior. At the other defensive tackle will be a guy who plays offense too, Tim Swervis, 6'3", 210 pounds, and a senior. At the linebackers, the two leading tacklers for Massillon Tigers, Chris Spielman is one linebacker. Number 58, George Ziegler, the other linebacker. Defensive end, Derek Johnson, 6'1", 187 pounds, and a senior. Number 46, Bob Robinson, 6 foot, 185 pounds, and a senior as well. The secondary, Gary Conley is at one secondary position. Marcel Stevens plays a cornerback. Tom Mannion, number 11. He's 5'10", 170 pounds, and a senior. And the other man, Jim Geiser, plays back, defensive safety, 6'3", 170 pounds, and a senior. The Massillon Tigers will receive the opening kickoff. They will be driving the football north to south towards the scoreboard end of the stadium. Kicking off for the Bulldogs, number 42, Marty Taculla. Mike mentioned him.
He is an exchange student for the Bulldogs, a soccer-style kicker, teeing the ball up on the 40-yard line. A little bit left of the center of the field. Tigers will move, as Dave mentioned, from north to south.
And Mike, everything this week is now on the football field. Everything that's been talked about, all the stats, everything else, it's game time at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. There's the kick away at the 40-yard line. End over end taken by Mark Smith at the 6-yard line. Smith to 20. Smith to the 25. He's popped and then dropped at the 23-yard line. First and 10 for the Massillon Tigers at their own women's call at the 24.
And making the stick on the play for the Bulldogs is number 59, Artis Cobb, our starting defensive tackle. The Bulldogs will come out in a 50 slant defense. All the players will be lining up at angles. They will be starting with Jackson and Faulkner at the ends, McCullough at the nose tackle position.
Conley wide to the right. Geiser, I should say Conley's left, Geiser to the right. They're in the run and shoot. They shift into the eye. Spielman is the deep back. Tim Samsel is the starting fullback. Straight ahead. There goes Spielman. Spielman all the way out to the 31-yard line. Again, they're about 7 yards on the stop straight up the middle. Leo Cadden, linebacker, number 56, made the tackle.
A straight-off tackle play and a fine block by the center, Rick Hammett, that opened the hole as he blew out the nose tackle, McCullough, who is not only one of the bigger Bulldogs, but also the fastest man on the team.
Second down and 3 from the Tiger 31-yard line. John Pierce is now in a wide receiver to the left. Tigers in that run and shoot. The center's Rick Hammett, the quarterback, Brian DeWitt. They shift into the eye with Spielman being the deep man once again. DeWitt hands off to Spielman. Spielman goes for the first down all the way down to the 35-yard line.
And he would have gotten a lot more if number 73, Anthony McCullough, would not have tipped him up with his big right hand as he cut back against the blocking, went off the left side, caught a hole open by the Massillon offensive line. 2 carries for Spielman and a first down for the Tigers.
There you go. First and 10 for the Massillon Tigers. They've moved it out to the 35-yard line on 2 running plays by the junior Chris Spielman. Conley to the left, Geiser to the right. McKinley in the white tops, red pants, the Tigers in the all-black, white numerals trimmed in orange. DeWitt hands off to Bush. Bush to the 40, Bush to the 41, and Bush carries out to the 43-yard line.
Well, blocked by number 67, the left guard, Charles Calhoun on that play on that off tackle as the linebacker Leo Cadden blitzed. Calhoun picked him up and drove him to the inside, and Bush cut off the hole for a big pickup. Second down and very short for the Tigers.
Vic Parks on the stop. He plays fullback, backup fullback on offense for the Tigers, or I should say for the Bulldogs. He's 208 pounds and a senior. Second down, we'll call it a long one at the 43-yard line. Or we'll call it 2. How about that? They shift into the eye now, Bush being the deep back. Samsel in front of him. Fumble on the ball, and DeWitt falls on it right at the 43. Fumble on the exchange from the center, Rick Hammett, to Brian DeWitt.
It looked like DeWitt just pulled out before he had the football. It looked like the snap was pretty good. DeWitt just had a case of the jitters.
All right, they lost a yard. It'll be third down. We'll call it 3 yards to go. Ball at the 42. They have to get to the 45.
So far, that Massillon offensive line is surging. They are driving the Bulldogs back. If DeWitt could have even handled the snap cleanly, he could have dove off the tackle for a first down on that play.
Third down and about 3 yards to go. They shift into the eye, Bush being the deep man now. Spielman in the left wing. DeWitt, the pitch back to Bush. Bush at the 40. Bush to the 42, and he is stopped on the far side. Lost about a yard on the play. It'll bring up a fourth down situation for the Massillon Tigers. Kevin Thomas made the stop. He's a backup tailback. He tackled Jim Bush on the far side.
That was a toss to the short side of the field, and number 59 also made the initial hit, defensive tackle Artis Cobb. And Cobb made the opening hit on the opening kickoff return for the Tigers, and the Bulldogs defense has passed its first test.
Sid Lewis is deep back at the, I should say Sid Lewis. Carlos Lewis is deep at the 20-yard line. He is joined back there by number 14, Fritz Montgomery. Oh, there's motion now calling the Bulldogs.
On the Bulldogs. Right, number 56, Leo Cadden, very disgusted with himself. The round count works, and the Tigers come up with the first break of the ball game as they get a first down by a penalty.
Well, Mike, what happened that time? They lined up for the punt, and a couple Tigers dropped back, and McKinley jumped offside. So McKinley with a crucial penalty, first and 10 Massillon ball at the 46-yard line. Big play in the early going.
The Bulldogs now put in a quicker nose guard, number 2, Lance Jones, replacing McCullough.
Pierce to the right. We have Conley to the left. They shift into the eye. Spielman is the deep back. DeWitt, hands off to Spielman. Spielman straight ahead. Spielman plows for about 2 yards, takes it to the 49-yard line, where he is brought down rather hard by Dale Jackson, number 88.
And the man who undercut him was the new nose guard, number 2, Lance Jones, as he is now checking out, along with number 74, Tom Daniels.
Second down, they gave him a yard. We'll call it 9 yards to go at the 48-yard line. Clock running, 7:57 remaining here in the first half from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. Massillon McKinley on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. In the run and shoot. Handoff straight ahead, Samsel. Samsel dives ahead to about the 50. He picked up a yard maybe. Dale Jackson, number 88, again on the stop for the McKinley Bulldogs.
And Jackson is a big defensive end at 6'4", 220 pounds, and a junior. He alternated some with Ricky Hall last season as a sophomore, and he will be back also for the Bulldogs next season.
Tom Bruno checks in, number 43. Geyser comes out, as does Samsel. Tom Bruno is the fullback. We have Conley to the left, Pierce to the right. Ball at the 49-yard line, third down and about 8 yards to go. They shift into the eye. Bush is the deep man. DeWitt's back to pass. He's looking. He's got Spielman. Spielman makes the cut, and he's out of bounds. He looks like he has enough for the first down at the McKinley 43-yard line. Leo Cadden knocked him out of bounds. It is enough for a first down for the Massillon Tigers.
A simple out pattern, and since DeWitt is such an excellent runner, Cadden had to play the run as he scrambled to his left, and Spielman did an out just about 2 yards behind him. DeWitt was right on target with the pass. The Tigers pick up another first down.
Yes, they do get another first down. Opening drive for the Massillon Tigers. They're at the McKinley 42-yard line. Geyser to the right, Conley to the left. They shift into the eye. Spielman is the deep back. DeWitt, hand off to Bush. Bush to the 40. Bush to the 40, to the 35. There he spins away from the tackle. Brought down at the 35. That looks like it had more yardage there, but Kevin Thomas came up quickly from the secondary position, made the tackle.
And that's a favorite play of the Canton McKinley Bulldogs, to run that wingback reverse play. That time, Bush had quite a hole, a great fake carried out by DeWitt. Bush went off the left side and picked up 8 big yards.
Second down and 4 at the 35-yard line, in between the 35 and 36, closer to the 35. Geyser to the right, Conley to the left. Bruno is in at fullback now. Samsel behind, or I should say Spielman behind him. DeWitt's hands off Spielman. Spielman cuts it up. Spielman to a 30. Spielman in 26-yard line. A good hit on him there by number 21, Carol Clifford. Nice tackle. He hit down Spielman in the back, put him down.
If Carol Clifford didn't hit him around the back and spin him down, Chris Spielman would have tucked off that right side and down the right sideline and would have had a lot of yards to pick up. He picked up 8 on that play.
He broke about 3 tackles. It looked like he had him stopped, and he squirmed loose.
He has tremendous stride for a running back.
First and 10 at the McKinley 29-yard line now. Shifting to the eye. Bush is the deep back. DeWitt, handoff Spielman. He's got a block, and he is dropped right at the 30-yard line. Number 48, Vic Parks, on his own that time. Smelled out that play and dropped Spielman right at the 30.
And Vic Parks is a returning starter from last season's McKinley defense, one of 4, and a fine, outstanding outside linebacker. He has missed over half the season due to ankle problems, and the Bulldogs are starting him at defense, realizing that he is a fine individual performer. It will be interesting to see if he starts at fullback on offense.
Second down and 11 from the McKinley 29-yard line. Bush is the deep man in the eye. Spielman is in the wing left. DeWitt, back to pass. He's under some heat, rolling out. Throwing, he's got Spielman at the 21. Spielman 19 to the 15 and knocked out of bounds over along the fence.
And that penalty and a personal foul there on number 37, Garland Rivers. He was wide open. Spielman beat Rivers, which is surprising. Again, Rivers had the play contained. DeWitt rolled to his left. Spielman snuck right behind him, and DeWitt was right on target with the pass. A pickup of 16 yards for the Tigers.
Jeff Berner checks in. Spielman comes out. Berner's number 30. He's 5'9", 155 pounds in the senior. We have a timeout with 5:19 remaining. No score from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. We'll be back.
Begins, you are...
Paul Brown Tigers Stadium, 5:19 remaining here in the first quarter. No score. The Massillon Tigers have run off 12 straight plays on offense. They've kept the football since the opening kickoff. First and 10 for Massillon at the McKinley 15-yard line. Guys are to the right, Conley to the left. They shift into the eye. Sampson, a fullback. Bush is the deep man. In motion comes Jeff Berner running to the right. Fumbles the snap. DeWitt has the football. Flags all over the place.
That's going to be procedure on Massillon, without a doubt.
5-yard penalty against the Massillon Tigers. That's the second time had a little bit of difficulty for the Tigers in the exchange from center to quarterback.
The Bulldog defense this season has been one that has bent but not broken down around the goal line. They will have their first opportunity to prove that today.
Mike Kearns has mentioned throughout the week that McKinley, the biggest thing that impresses him is their goal line defense, as Mike mentioned just now. First down and 15, ball at the 20-yard line. Spielman is back in. DeWitt fakes the handoff. He's looking. He throws. He's got Conley. The pass is incomplete. Conley was open in the end zone, number 21 on the coverage, Terrell Clifford, but he missed Conley. He was open in the end zone.
Well, Clifford, he was open, but Clifford had excellent position there. If Conley would have gotten his hands on the ball, I think Clifford might have dislodged it from him. He shielded him off the ball and did a fine job. Clifford, the starting safety for the Bulldogs. Number 37, the monster back, Garland Rivers, a key man of that McKinley defense, along with Park is the monster, and he will play the wide side of the field.
Second down and 15 yards to go for Massillon. Pierce goes to the left. Geyser to the right. Sampson at the fullback in the run and shoot. DeWitt, handoff, back to pass now, looking, he's at the 25, fires. Pierce, incomplete. Incomplete, intended for John Pierce at the 9-yard line, in and out of his hands, almost intercepted.
And also in and out of the hands of number 21, Terrell Clifford for the Bulldogs. So it went in and out of the hands of the receiver and the defensive back. The Tigers are now in a must-pass situation here. Third down and about 15 yards.
DeWitt's pass was on the money, however.
That's right, hit Pierce right on the numbers.
Third down, Mike mentioned 15 yards to go. 5:10 remaining first quarter, no score from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. Conley to the left, Geyser to the right. Shifting to the eye, Bush is the deep man. Bruno is in at fullback. DeWitt, back to pass. He's got some pressure. He's going to be brought down. He threw the football away. And there is a...
I cannot believe there was no intentional grounding on that play.
I cannot believe it.
Randy Faulkner
to the left side.
Randy Faulkner came in from his left side on a blitz and did one fine job of spinning DeWitt around and throwing him. And DeWitt just unloaded the ball to the left sideline near the McKinley bench, and the McKinley coaching staff is hot.
I agree that time. That should have been a...
They're going to mark him down. They're going to mark him down.
Okay, they caught him down before he threw the football. It's a fourth down situation for Massillon at the McKinley 35-yard line.
And that was an excellent call by that official.
Okay, if that's the call, his judgment is correct then. The Tigers look like they will punt now. Brian DeWitt is the punter. Yes, they are going to punt. Okay. DeWitt standing at his McKinley 48-yard line. Sampson is the blocker. Montgomery and Lewis back. They're looking. They fake the punt. DeWitt's looking around. He fires. He's looking to throw. 35 to the 30, and he is brought down. DeWitt is brought down, looking for a receiver. Not a bad selection right there. They have McKinley at the 35. The Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10. And we'll be back with that Bulldog first down after we take this timeout.
With First Savings.
Tiger Stadium, Dave Sheets along with Mike Keating on WTIG. We have no score. McKinley coming up with a 1st and 10. Fritz Montgomery at the quarterback. Mike?
On that drive, the leading ball carrier for the Tigers, Chris Spielman, 5 carries, 18 yards. Jim Bush, 2 carries for 16 yards. Tim Samsel, 1 for 3. Brian DeWitt, 3 for -15. The Bulldogs will come up with 1 sack. The key play was the play by defensive end Randy Faulkner. And the Bulldogs now have used 2 timeouts.
2 timeouts, 4:14 remaining here in the first quarter. 1st and 10 for McKinley at their own 34-yard line. Frankie is at the nose guard, Swedelich and Clark the tackles, Spielman and Ziegler the linebackers, Johnson and Robinson defensive ends, Mannion, Conley, Gosler, and Marcel Stevens in the secondary. Strand handoff straight ahead. That is number 22 fighting for yardage. He is going to be sacked up. Troy Jenkins, tailback, struggles for 1 or 2 yards out across the 35-yard line.
And the Bulldogs are starting number 20, Daryl Randall at fullback. He checks out now, and replacing him will be Victor Parks. Those two will share the brunt of the fullback load today for the Bulldogs. Parks a little bit better blocker, and Randall a little bit better runner.
Bob Robinson made the tackle for the Massillon Tigers. 2nd down and 8 from McKinley. They gave him 2 on that play. Parks is in the fullback. And Jenkins is the tailback. They're in the eye.
We have the right rig. And number 70, the junior, Sean Fagan, from his right tackle position, moves out of his 3-point stance. And the Bulldogs pick up another penalty.
Bring up a 2nd down and about 13 to go for McKinley. Ball spotted at their own 32-yard line right now.
One of the favorite passing plays of the Bulldogs in the past is a drag pattern where the ends, the wide receivers go down and clear out, and the tight end cuts over the middle.
Mike, you mentioned several times this week the key to McKinley's offense, Chris Brooks, their fine tight end. They shift into the eye. Andre to split wide to the left. Montgomery looking. He doesn't throw. He's getting outside. He's got some running room. Montgomery, 35, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. That side was opened up. Tiger defensive end got caught up inside. Gary Conley ran him out of bounds on the far side. Brings up a 3rd down, and we'll call it 7 yards to go. They have to get right near the 44-yard line. The ball right now at the 38.
With the Bulldogs line up in the wing T, which they also use along with the eye.
Lewis comes wide to the left.
For the wingback reverse, but they are in the conventional pro passing formation.
Montgomery back to pass. He's looking. He's going for the bomb. He's looking long, and Tiger gets the interception. It's incomplete all the way down to Tiger 15-yard line. Overthrowing his man, number 83, Eddie Andre. Gary Conley on the coverage.
Excellent coverage by Conley, step for step. Montgomery threw that football away.
So it'll bring up a 4th down for the McKinley Bulldogs.
And this is what McKinley cannot afford to do, go into a 3-down and punt offense. They got to keep that defense off the field.
Number 76, Matt Reese, 218-pound tackle. He's a senior, a good punter. Gets the kick away, left-footed kicker, a nice spiral, drives Spielman deep. Spielman makes the catch at the 15. Spielman at the 10, looking for yardage, spins away. Spielman will be dropped and then buried at about the 14-yard line. There the Massillon Tigers will take over 1st and 10.
That unofficially goes as a 50-yard punt for Reese.
And we'll be back with the Massillon Tiger 1st down after we take this timeout.
1st and 10 for the Massillon Tigers. The ball on their own 15-yard line.
Cents in the produce department. Slicing tomatoes, 40. Bounce back to just
Once again, to bring you. Look forward to sponsoring Massillon Tiger football next year, if not next week. All of
Brings up second down, a long 2.
Second down and 8 for the Massillon. I should say second down and about 3 on a play you just missed. Jim Bush picked up 7 yards on a wing back reverse. They shift into the eye. Spielman is the deep back. Second down and 7. Ball at the Tiger 23. Hand off to Spielman. Spielman charges hard. He looks like he'll have enough for the first down. He takes it right at the 25-yard line. Just depends where they mark it. On that wing back reverse play, the prior play, on the cutback by Bush, Dale Jackson just lost his footing and that enabled Bush to cut outside and pick up those 7 yards. A minute 7 remaining, first quarter. Clock is running. It is a first down for the Massillon Tigers at their own 25-yard line. And Mike, the offensive line for the Massillon Tigers has not so far been able to move McKinley out that much. Well, they've been opening holes, but again, McKinley's defense bending between the 20s and coming up with the big play on that sack. The Tigers have been moving them, but they haven't moved one in yet for a touchdown. Conley to the left. Geyser to the right, shifting to the eye. Spielman is the deep back. In motion goes Sampson, will pitch to Spielman. Spielman to the 30. Spielman gets away. I should say to the 25. He's going to be knocked out of bounds short of the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard, I do believe. That was a great play by not only the man who made the initial hit, Kevin Thomas, but on the right end, Dale Jackson. He took the blocker Sample and just threw him off and went in and assisted on the tackle. Pierce comes in. Geyser will check out. Second down at 10. They didn't give him any loss of yardage. He didn't pick up any. So second down at 10, exactly at the 25-yard line for the Massillon Tigers. Hammond comes out over the center. DeWitt's the quarterback. They may not get this play off to end the quarter. Shift into the eye. That is the end of the first quarter. We have played one scoreless quarter of football from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. We're back with second quarter action after we take this time out.
ESPN. Sports fans.
Stadium. Dave Sheets along with Mike Keating on this fine, good-looking Saturday afternoon. Mike, your thoughts on the first quarter? Well, so far, Massillon's offense has had the ball quite a bit of the time, but they have not been able to come up with the killer punch. Second down and 10, ball at the 25-yard line for Massillon. Bush is the deep man in the eye. DeWitt's back to pass. He's looking, lost the football out there. It's going to be intercepted. Clifford picks it off at the 45. Clifford is knocked down very hard by Geyser at the 50-yard line. It'll be first and 10. The first turnover of the ball game belongs to the McKinley Bulldogs. And McKinley now comes up with the ball in excellent field position at the Tiger 48-yard line. A spot pass badly underthrown. And Clifford just picked it off from his free safety position. And Kevin Parrish is now in as quarterback, replacing Montgomery for the Bulldogs. And look for McKinley to go into a kind of a wing T formation and possibly to put that ball up quite frequently. Kevin Parrish, number 18. He's the quarterback now. He's a junior, 185 pounds. As Mike said, there is the wing T. Look for the passing game right now. Lewis goes out wide to the right. They're not in the wing T. The pitch back to that is Randall. Randall to the 40. He breaks it outside. Randall's in the 35. He gets out of moves it down the sideline. Gets around the man, and he's all the way down to the Tiger 15-yard line. Number 22, I should say Troy Jenkins. Troy Jenkins shows tremendous speed on that pitch left. McKinley coming up with a fine play after that turnover. And this is why they are the defending state champions. They play with a lot of pride. They have the speed. That is one advantage. The McKinley Bulldogs do have tremendous team speed. First and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Tiger 16-yard line. Troy Jenkins on a long run. Zip Parks is the fullback. They're in the wing T now. Parrish, hand off to Lewis. Lewis to the 15. Lewis is brought down for no gain. Derek Johnson and Gary Conley wrap him up. Carlos Lewis just didn't have any room to maneuver on that play. Conley turned him in, made a fine play from his right cornerback position, and Lewis picked up absolutely nothing on that play. It'll bring up a second down and 10. That is McKinley's bread and butter, that wing back reverse. They like to run it with Carlos Lewis, number 33. Number 58 comes out over the ball. Bob Becker finds center. The Bulldogs in a double tight end formation.
Handoff. No, he's taking the puck. Caught and then fumbled the football, number 85.
It's good and incompletion.
Okay.
And Chris Brooks almost on that Texas pass.
Down at the 6-yard line. He was popped loose of the football.
Chris Brooks almost came up with a super one-handed grab on that Texas pass.
A Tiger defensive back popped him. I didn't see exactly which back it was. Tom Mannion, I do believe, number 11. Third down and 10 now for the Bulldogs at the Tigers' 16-yard line. Big third down play. They faked the play up the middle of the park that time. Parrish stepped back and fired that football, as Mike said. Andre goes to the left. It is Lewis to the right. They're in the eye. Parrish looking. He throws the foot. He's hit and in the valley. Intercepted by Mannion. Mannion had it at the 6-yard line. Dropped it. Incomplete pass. Parrish was being hung on to by Bob Robinson. Robinson was all over Parrish. He finally got the football away. Fourth down.
And it's a good thing Robinson was all over Parrish because Chris Brooks snuck behind Mannion, and if Parrish could have had a little bit more time, he could have lobbed it over his shoulder, and McKinley might have been on the board. The Bulldogs are going for a field goal as number 9 backup quarterback Jim Donahue checks in, along with place kicker Anthony Taylor. Taylor has kicked 4 field goals this season.
Taylor is a junior, ball spotted at the 22, so it will be a 32-yard attempt. Here comes the snap. It's back, placed down, kick is up. Kick is going to be way short. Yes, it is. Falling way short. So the Massillon Tigers do indeed hold. And they will take over first and 10.
The Tigers defense passed their first big press, and this is definitely
a big series.
A big series, but a little bit of a disadvantage to the Bulldogs last year. I know a lot of Massillon people don't want to remember this, but last season, Nick Zaides kicked a 44-yard field goal against the Massillon Tigers, and that field goal proved to be the margin of difference in that 9-6 McKinley victory. Taylor is good from about 30 in. That time, he just shanked that one very badly.
Way short, too. He dropped about 5 yards in front of the goalpost. First and 10 for the Massillon Tigers at their own 20-yard line. 10:13 remaining in the second quarter. No score in this classic. Tigers in the full house backfield. Handoff. Spielman up to the 25-yard line. Dives over a couple people to 22 and launches to the 25. On a tackle, number 56, Leo Catton.
There is an AM transit bus.
So far, Massillon has gone away from their run-and-shoot type of offense and gone to a little bit more of a conservative offense. Now with the robust T backfield, they're going to try to get a little bit better field position before they open it up.
I think pressure by McKinley's defensive people have caused a little bit of problems for Massillon here in the first quarter and a half.
The two ends have played excellently.
DeWitt, back to pass, looking, he's under some heat, throws the football, it's in and out of the hands and then incomplete. Almost picked off at the 32-yard line. DeWitt again, a lot of pressure and nobody open. Pass intended for number 84, John Pierce. And the McKinley secondary a lot of credit.
He tried to force that football and he almost paid the price with another turnover.
It's going to be a third down and about 6 yards to go now for Massillon. They have to get to the 30. The ball is spotted at the 24.
Massillon going toward the short side of the field on to the right side. That has been their strong side behind Beadle, Bushman, and Hammett.
Jeff Berner is in replacing Spielman, who checks out. Conley to the left, Geyser to the right. They shift into the eye. Bush is the deep man. DeWitt back to pass. Handoff to Bush. He is going to be buried right at the line of scrimmage. It was a sprint draw.
And Anthony McCullough, what a play. He's so big, he's so quick, and he came in and smelled that sprint draw and nailed Spielman for a 4-yard loss.
So the Massillon Tigers face the punting situation. Fourth down and 10 yards to go. Clock running, 9:09 remaining. Lewis and Montgomery deep. They're at their 35-yard line. DeWitt will kick from about the 10-yard line when it's all over.
And they will be looking into the sun.
Snap back is a good one. DeWitt kicks the ball away. A wobbler. Montgomery calling for it, makes the catch to 35. Montgomery to the 40, looking for his goal. He breaks through a short opening, takes it out to the 44-yard line. First and 10. Rick Hammett, number 56, the center, on the stop. We're going to take a timeout with 8:47 remaining. The score, the Tigers nothing and McKinley nothing.
The ball is on their own 43-yard line.
For many of them. No one.
That is a first down for the Bulldogs. The ball is on the Massillon.
Club insurance will protect your home. Club.
Eddie Andre up at the Tigers' 43-yard line. Troy Jenkins on the next play went left side. He was dropped for loss, and there is a penalty against the McKinley Bulldogs.
Number 74 in one of the guard positions, Tom Daniels, was nailed for holding, and what a super one-handed grab on that spot pass. The previous play by Eddie Andre.
Eddie Andre went up, caught the ball in his right hand, was popped, and he brought it down, curled it in. It's a 10-yard penalty against the Bulldogs. That moves it back all the way to the 39-yard line.
That time on that sweep left, Chris Spielman was not to be denied on that play as he spun Jenkins around and nailed him for a 2-yard loss. But the Tigers pick up even a bigger play with a 15-yard holding penalty.
First down and 27. McKinley from their 39-yard line. Back to pass. Parrish. Left side, Lewis bobbles the football, he makes the catch, gets away, and then is dropped by Spielman on the far side. Another flag on the play. The flag was thrown at about the 48. Lewis took it up to the 45. A flag on the penalty.
A flanker screen, and they did a fine job of wiping out Bob Robinson on that play. That looks to me like an inadvertent flag.
Okay. So Spielman made the tackle on Lewis on the far side after the bobbling catch. Brings up a second down and about 20 yards to go. We'll call it 21. At the McKinley 46.
Bulldogs will try to pick up a little bit of yards at a time on this drive.
Brooks goes wide to the right. 47 is in the ballgame. Kevin Thomas, the wingback position. The pitch back to Jenkins. Jenkins 45. Jenkins 50. Jenkins knocked out of bounds by Conley. Spielman was over there as well. Crosses the 50-yard line down to about the 48.
Bulldogs again, they, like the Tigers, like to run to the short side of the field. A little cross sweep left, running behind big number 72, Carl Washington at left tackle. And Jenkins picked up about 4 yards on that play. Jenkins has now carried the ball 3 times for 38 yards.
Von Dockery has been in the defensive tackle position. He's out now. Swetowicz is back in that left defensive tackle position. Parrish, back to pass, straight drop back. He looking, he fires. He's got his man in and drops. Eddie Andre was open at the 31-yard line. The pass was a little bit low. Andre went to his knees and went through his hands, incomplete.
A crossing pattern there. Brooks lined up from his tight end position on the right side, went down about 7 yards, cut over the middle. Andre from his flanker position, cut over the middle to his left. The pass was thrown behind him. He was open.
Brings up a 4th down and 16 for the McKinley Bulldogs. Ball at the Tiger 48-yard line. Matt Reese will kick, standing at his 40. Spielman is deep, flanked by Stevens and Walterhouse. Spielman at the 15. Reese, a nice kick, angling for the sidelines. It's going to be short. And the Tigers are going to get real good field position nowadays after McKinley looked like they could pin him back.
About a 20-yard punt on that play, Dave.
So Massillon Tigers will take over excellent field position at the 33-yard line. Listen to these fans now, giving their defense a round of applause.
The Bulldogs, after Massillon had the ball the first drive, all of a sudden took over the momentum of the game. They stopped Massillon deep in their territory. They regained field position, and they started pushing the Tigers around. Now Massillon has pretty good field position on their own 26-yard line.
Well, they're unfortunate at this point. They could have been backed up deep, and instead they have a 1st and 10 at their 26. Spielman in motion to the right. DeWitt's back to pass. Looking. He fires. He's got Geyser. Geyser makes the catch to 40. Geyser dives ahead to the 41. First and 10. Massillon to pick up of about 15 yards.
A little curve to Geyser, and that pass was thrown with tremendous velocity. Hit Geyser on the numbers, and he made sure he cradled the ball around both arms. First down for the Tigers. Pick up a 15 yards.
Garland Rivers, fine defensive back number 37 on the tackle for the Bulldogs. Ball is fired at the Tigers. 41, 7:04 remaining second quarter. No score in this contest. Conley to the left. It's Pierce now to the right. Sample alone set back in the run and shoot. In motion comes Bush to the left side. DeWitt's rolling out to his left. Gets a block. He's got a man in his face. Running for his life down the right-hand side. Looking to get away from one man. DeWitt to the 40. And he's popped out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. He picked up a good 2, maybe 3 yards. Garland Rivers popped him out of bounds. And DeWitt was running for his life on the left-hand side.
And that was because of big number 88, Dale Jackson, and the right tackle, number 64, Jamie White, putting tremendous pressure on DeWitt.
DeWitt give him a yard.
DeWitt picked up 1 yard on that play, and that was all because of his own individual effort.
Second down and 9 at the 42-yard line. Pierce to the right. Conley to the left. Bush in motion to the left. DeWitt's rolling out to his left, looking, firing the football. Off the hands of Gary Conley at the 50-yard line. He was wide open. I think he heard footsteps. Dick Parks was right there to drill him.
And Leo Cadden almost came up with an interception on that play.
Third down and 9.
That was a well-thrown football.
Massillon seems to be sputtering at this point, Mike, and you have to give that Bulldog defense a lot of credit.
I think a lot of wind was taken out of the Tigers' sail when the Bulldogs stopped them on their first possession, and then the key interception by Clifford has changed things around. White is now checked out, and Tom Daniels is checked in at right tackle for the Bulldogs.
Bruno's at a fullback slot now, replacing Timmy Samsel. In motion goes Bush. Bruno. The legal procedure, he went running up the middle. As Bush went to shift into the eye, it'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Tigers. On a third down 9, it'll bring up a third down 14.
You can tell nerves play a big part of this football game. It sounds like a lot of hoopla in that, but both teams have come up with a lot of nervous penalties, a lot of motion, a lot of procedure. And so far, penalties have hurt the Bulldogs a little bit more than the Tigers.
Third down and 15. Sample back at the fullback position. Geyser to the right, Conley to the left. Ball at the 36-yard line. DeWitt back to pass. He's under some heat, rolling to his right. He's got 3 men after him. Fires the football. Spielman makes the catch. Spielman out to the 45-yard line. It'll be about 6 yards short of the first down, however. DeWitt again was running for his life.
Anthony McCullough is getting the better of the Massillon interior three, as he is putting tremendous pressure on DeWitt.
Garland Rivers made the tackle. He put a good pop on Chris Spielman. Fourth down again for the Massillon Tigers.
Spielman has been DeWitt's favorite receiver so far. He has caught 3 of the 4 DeWitt completions for 33 yards.
DeWitt will punt. McKinley drops back with Fritz Montgomery and Carlos Lewis. They're standing at their 20. Good snap. DeWitt kicks it away. High spiral. Good kick out of bounds. Hit at the 15. Bounces to the 10. And out of bounds all the way down to about the 8-yard line. So the Massillon Tigers who have McKinley backed up. We're going to take a timeout. 5:43. Remaining the score. Massillon nothing and McKinley nothing.
Your holiday.
Gain of 4 yards on the play. Brings up second down. 6 yards to go. The ball on the 1-yard line.
Drop down, and that's going to be a first down. It will be a face mask call. It was the second down and 6 yards from the 12. Jenkins was wrestled down there.
It was Chris Spielman that grabbed his face mask with his right hand.
And there's the face mask call, and there's the Massillon Tigers down right now. I do believe it is Gary Conley at the 10-yard line. Gary Conley is down.
The Bulldogs are going to end up out of that hole with this 15-yard penalty. And right now, the Bulldogs end up with a big break. Penalties have played a big key in this ball game.
Clock stops with 5:02 here in the second quarter. The only scoring attempt was a 32-yard field goal attempt by the McKinley Bulldogs in the first quarter of play. It fell short, and that's been it. The Massillon Tigers on their opening drive.
Mark Smith now checking in for the Tigers, replacing Conley at that right cornerback position. Smith did start the season at that spot, but Conley beat him out, and now Smith has played primarily as a second liner.
Conley is still being examined on the 10-yard line.
So far, Kevin Parrish has hit on 2 of 5 passes for 20 yards. Montgomery is 0 for 1. Jenkins has carried the ball 5 times for 44 yards. Montgomery 1 carry for 5. Lewis 1 carry for no yards. For Massillon, DeWitt passing has hit on 4 out of 9 for 48 yards, but 1 big interception.
Nothing to nothing in a very defensive battle here at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. Been a lot of penalties. McKinley fans urging their pucks on now on the far side.
And McKinley's defense has played a little bit better, except on that first possession by Massillon.
I think Gary Conley got the wind knocked out of him. He is jogging off the field.
He'll probably be back in after a play or two. McKinley's defense, as I mentioned, has played a little bit better than that bend and break defense. After the first series, they have stopped Massillon pretty cold this entire first half.
1st and 10 for the McKinley Bulldogs. Ball at the 28-yard line. Kevin Parrish is the quarterback, number 18. Fritz Montgomery played most of the first quarter. They are now using him exclusively on defense. Lewis on the wing back reverse gets nothing. Maybe a yard, maybe 2 as he squirts to the 30. Just depends where they mark the football. On the stop, Chris Spielman, number 33.
Spielman smelled it out, and it was to Lewis's credit that he got anything at all.
Well, they give him 2 yards, bringing up a 2nd down and 8. Ball between the 30 and the 31 of McKinley. Brooks comes wide to the right. They're in the wing T. The wing I should say. Pitch back to Jenkins. Jenkins to the 30. Jenkins to the 34-yard line. He picked up a good 4 yards on the tackle. Derek Johnson, number 91, defensive end.
Where Massillon likes to run primarily behind their right side, led by Ty Beadle and Mike Bushman. The Bulldogs like to run behind the left side, anchored by Dave Roby at left guard and Carl Washington at left tackle.
3rd down and 4. Have to get to the 38. Balls at the 34-yard line. Sea of orange, red, and black at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. They're in the wing I. Now Lewis comes in motion to the right-hand side. Parrish, pitch back to Jenkins, left side, 30, to 35. Jenkins, and he will be short up the first down by about 3 yards, knocked out around on the far side. Derek Johnson again meets Troy Jenkins at about the 36-yard line.
Although he didn't make the tackle, Chris Spielman sure was instrumental on that play as he wiped out both blockers, number 60 Claude Brown and number 85 Chris Brooks, and got in there and interrupted the play and stopped Jenkins short of the first down.
Well, Chris Spielman tends to draw a lot of attention while he's out there. Matt Reese back at the 23-yard line. Gets the kick away. A pretty good kick. Spielman calling for it. And a fair catch is made by number 45, Steve Walderhouse. And Steve almost took off with the football. So the Massillon Tigers now will take over 1st and 10 at their 31-yard line. A little bit inconsistent here in the first half of this ball game. 3:44 remaining.
Conley is checking back into the game, and he is hobbling a little bit. Spielman now checking out.
After a missed field goal, Mike, we have had 4 punts in a row. As Mike mentioned, Gary Conley back in the game. Guys are to the right, Conley to the left. Stansel is at the fullback position. Jeff Berner shifts into the I. He is now in the ball game. DeWitt. Hand off to Berner. Berner 30. Berner tripped up as he looked like he was going to pop through that hole. Berner takes it to about the 33.
That was a great cutback by Berner on that play as he faked out number 64, Jamie White, from his defensive right tackle position and knifed his way for 3 yards in that play, or 2 rather.
Dick Parks, number 48, tripped him up as he was squirting through that hole. Gary Conley does have a slight limp. As Mike mentioned, he checks out. Pierce is in. Guys are to the right, Pierce to the left. 2nd down and 7. They shift into the I. Berner is the deep back. DeWitt fakes a handoff. Gives it to Bush. Bush to the 40. Bush to the 45. To the 46-yard line. First and 10. That by far is the best Massillon Tiger run of the day on the stop Kevin Thomas and Garland Rivers from McKinley.
Just a simple counter play. Instead of breaking the reverse completely wide to the left, as Bush lined up on his right side, he cut back in between the left guard and the center position, found a hole, drove forward, picked up 13 yards. First down for the Tigers. Jim Bush now has carried the ball 5 times for 36 yards.
Spielman and Conley return to the lineup. Berner and Pierce lead. It's guys to the right, Conley to the left. First and 10 at the 46. DeWitt back to pass. He's got time. He looks. He's under some heat, and he'll be dropped down. Good coverage that time by the secondary for McKinley. DeWitt just had nowhere to go with the football. Artis Cobb, number 59, wrapped him up. It'll be a yard loss back to the 30, I should say, the 44.
You're right, it was excellent coverage because the offensive line sustained their block for about 4 seconds, and then DeWitt scrambled as he found no one open, but the Bulldogs, led primarily by their left tackle Cobb, converged then, smeared DeWitt for a 1-yard loss.
Second down and 11. We'll call it the 45. Shifting to the I. Bush being the deep man in that I now. DeWitt back to pass. He's looking, fires, and incomplete, intended for Gary Conley on this side. Over the head of Rivers and Conley. Rivers was right there on Gary Conley. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 11 now.
On that out pattern, the monster back number 37, Garland Rivers, played it perfectly.
Brings up a 3rd and 11. On the incomplete pass, clock stops with a minute 58 here in the first half. No score in this game.
Now the Bulldogs will be in a bad situation if they stop the Tigers on this play because they'll have less than 2 minutes left. They have already used 2 of their timeouts.
To be a very important down and very important a minute 58 in this first half. See what transpires. 3rd down and 11. Bush in motion. The pitch back to Samsel. Gives to Conley on the reverse. Conley to the 45, to the 46, and he is out of bounds after about a 3-yard pickup. Takes it to about the 47-yard line. He'll bring up 4th and about 8 for Massillon. Marvin Wynn, number 52, on the tackle for McKinley.
And also a great play again by number 88, Dale Jackson. He stayed at home and was not fooled on that play whatsoever. Marvin Wynn checking in at linebacker, replacing Parks, made a fine play forcing Conley out of bounds.
A minute 50 remaining. DeWitt will punt it away again. 4th down and 8 for Massillon. DeWitt's good snap back, kicks it away at his 40. A nice high kick, good kick. Lewis calling for the fair catch. He makes it at about the 7-yard line. He fumbled the football, but it was official ruled it dead. We're going to take a timeout with a minute 43 remaining. The score, Massillon nothing and McKinley nothing.
First and 10 Bulldogs. The ball is on their own 8-yard line.
Nine.
Parks the ball carrier. John Frankie on the tackle for the Tigers.
Once again, to bring you Massillon Tiger football next year, if not next week. For the McKinley Bulldogs, they ran straight ahead on the first down, got 2 yards. Handoff to the first back, Drew Parks. Parks struggles away. Spielman hanging on for his life. Parks out across the 15 to the 16. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 3 for McKinley. Parks almost got away.
And it looks like both teams are content with letting the clock run. Now the Tigers are going to call timeout. It's a smart move. I would have caught it a little bit sooner. They wasted about 10 seconds on that clock. Because if Massillon does stop them here, they'll have the Bulldogs deep in their own territory. I don't think McKinley's going to try anything fancy. Vic Parks has carried the ball the last 2 plays for 7 yards.
48 seconds remaining. Mike, we're going to take a timeout once again. The Massillon Tigers 0 and McKinley 0. We'll be back.
7.
A straight dive play. Vic Parks leaped over the top, It'll be 1st and 10 for the McKinley Bulldogs, and I think now they'll be content to run out the first down.
Bulldogs with the ball on the 21-yard line. Parks carried the ball 3 times on this drive. They're going to him. Sure-handed ball carrier, and he has picked up 12 yards.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 21. Clock is running. This probably will be the final play of the first quarter. No score. Parrish straight ahead to Parks. Parks still struggling for yardage. Gets maybe one. Derek Johnson on the bottom of the pile for the Tigers. And that will do it, I do believe, for the first half of football from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. 10 seconds, clock running.
McKinley is content to run out the clock because they will get the second half kickoff.
5 seconds, 4. They come out of the huddle. 2, 1, and that is it. We have played one half of football. Here is the renewal of the Canton McKinley Massillon Tigers football game here at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. We have no score at halftime. We'll be back with WTIG's halftime huddle after we take this timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Mr. Michael Warren and Assistant Director Mr. Chris McBarrett, we present for your halftime enjoyment the best band in the land, the Pride of Kansas. From Major Don Juan Joe, Toby the Tiger, Michael Gill. Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th anniversary edition of the Massillon Tiger Swing Band. this afternoon's performance, the Tiger Band swings out to Rock Around the Clock.
Both captains, or I should say all four captains from each school meeting. McKinley captains Carlos Lewis and Vic Parks. Tiger captains the guards, Mike Bushman and Charles Calhoun. Massillon will be kicking south to north. McKinley will be going north to south here as we start the third quarter. The Tigers meet in their end of the field, fired up. We are in for an exciting second half of football at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium.
And if you people aren't familiar with direction and you aren't familiar with Tiger Stadium, the McKinley Bulldogs will be marching toward the scoreboard, the Massillon Tiger scoreboard this third quarter.
Here come the Tigers inside the field, and you can anticipate a wild and woolly second half here from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. We're expecting just a super contest. Scoreless battle of the sexes in the first half. And a little bit of inconsistency by both ball clubs.
We'll see how Massillon's kickoff coverage is. This will be the first time they have kicked off this ball game.
Timmy Sampson will kick off.
Sampson will be teeing the ball up at the 40. In on the kickoff team, Geyser, Ty Hilbert, Steve Waterhouse, number 53, Richard Rodney, Mike Gallant, the special teams star player, number 34, Marcel Stevens.
I'll tell you what, if you're not here, you're missing a beautiful sight, just a wonderful afternoon, and we hope you're enjoying the broadcast here on WTIG. Tigers to kick off. Tim Sampson spots the ball down at the 40. And deep is Lewis and
Montgomery and Kevin Thomas at about the McKinley 10-yard line.
Sampson raises his hand, gets the kickoff signal. boots the ball away, end over end kick, very high and deep. Lewis at the goal line, runs it out 10, 15, Lewis to the 20, upended at the 21-yard line. There's the kicker.
The Bulldogs will start at their own 20.5-yard line. If Lewis would have let that ball go in the end zone, they would have had it about a half-yard further back.
And Mike, number 14, Fritz Montgomery, will start at quarterback here in the second half. He played a good quarter and a half. Kevin Parrish played the rest of the second quarter.
I think Montgomery played their first series, Dave, and then Parrish took over.
All right. They're in the wing tee. Montgomery, handoff, straight ahead, Parks. Parks straight ahead for about 3 yards on the tackle. Chris Spielman hanging on. Parks blasts out to about the 24-yard line. A very hard-nosed running back.
And that has been Parks' 6th consecutive carry. He carried the last 4 plays in the first half for 13 yards, and he carried the ball one time on this play for 4 yards.
We have not seen much of Darrell Randall or Eddie Profit for the Bulldogs. They've seen a lot of action this season. Eddie Andre goes wide to the left. A fine receiver made a great catch in the first half. They're in the wing tee. Lewis is in the wing right. Montgomery hands up at Jenkins. Jenkins piles ahead for about 2, maybe 3 yards from the off right tackle. Ziegler on the tackle for Massillon. He had some help along with Marcel Stevens. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 3. Along the 28-yard line of McKinley.
In the first half, Jenkins was the Bulldogs' leading ball carrier. In fact, he was the leading ball carrier the first half of both teams with 50 yards and 7 carries. With Montgomery, the McKinley Bulldogs were more apt to run the football.
And on the other hand, with Parrish in there, they were more apt to throw. Lewis goes wide to the right. 3rd down and 3. First possession from McKinley here in the 3rd quarter. Looking to throw and caught. Brooks makes the catch. It'll be a 1st down. Mannion on the tackle out to the 35-yard line. A little quick pass over the middle. Chris Brooks, 85, made the catch.
And Montgomery put that right on the numbers to the big tight end, Chris Brooks, his first reception of the ball game.
Give McKinley credit. A nice call there. They sent it Parks up the middle, faked it to him, and Montgomery hit Brooks, mixing it up. 1st and 10 at the 36 of McKinley. Lewis goes wide to the right. Brooks is his tight end left. They're in the eye. Jenkins behind Parks. The pitch back to Jenkins. Jenkins got some blocking. 35. He's going to be wrapped up, and he is going all the way back. There's a flag on the play. I do believe we're going to have some kind of a clip or a hold on Carlos Lewis out the 45-yard line.
And it looks like it'll be on against Jimmy Geiser on by Carlos Lewis. A super defensive play by the right end, Derek Johnson. He strung that play out about 7 yards to the left. Jenkins could never turn the corner, and by the time he got up to the line of scrimmage or close to it, Timmy Mannion came in and assisted Johnson on the tackle, and McKinley comes up with a big penalty, and the Tigers undoubtedly will accept it.
Well, the thing that hurts, Mike, is that penalty was about 15 yards ahead of the football. Carlos Lewis blocking on Geiser clipped him, and it really hurts McKinley. They'll be all the way back. They're going to mark the ball at the 19-yard line.
Of course, the bad thing about that is, Dave, is that Carlos Lewis has no idea where Troy Jenkins is. He's out down there trying to make his block and perfect it, and unfortunately for the Bulldogs, he did not.
That brings up now 1st down and 25 for McKinley. Clock running 9:40, 3rd quarter, no score. Andre, or I should say Brooks is wide left, Lewis wide right.
And Washington moves out of his foot. And the Bulldogs look to me a little bit frustrated right now. Their 2nd consecutive penalty. Let's check that McKinley offensive line. At left tackle, Carl Washington. The left guard, Tom Daniels. Dave Roby has also played there. And now Daniels is coming out, being replaced by Claude Brown. The center is Bob Becker. The right guard is Dave Roby. Excuse me. The right tackle is Sean Fagan. The tight end, Chris Brooks. The wide receiver, Eddie Andre. The wing back, Carlos Lewis. The quarterback, Chris Montgomery. The fullback, Vic Parks. The tailback, Troy Jenkins.
1st down and 32. Ball all the way back at the 14. Montgomery, quarterback drawn up and doing a Tiger Starion right at that line of scrimmage, setting the Tiger defense.
John Frankie with a tremendous play there as he threw off the block of center Bob Becker and stopped Montgomery for a very short game.
John Frankie is number 99, the nose guard. At the defensive tackle, number 96, Dan Clark, number 75, Frank Sledovich. The linebackers, Chris Spielman, number 33, George Ziegler, number 58. Defensive people, Geiser is your safety. You have Conley and Mannion at the corners. Defensive ends, Derek Johnson, And Bob Robinson, Marcel Stevens also at a quarterback.
It wouldn't surprise me if the Bulldogs play some type of gadget play, although they are deep in their own territory.
Second down and 31, ball at the 15. Montgomery, there's the wing rack reverse to Lewis. Lewis is caught the line of scrimmage by Spielman. He has Nelson Sam Clark. And long, there was no gain on the play.
As I said at halftime huddle, I think the Tigers, to regain momentum and put their offense in good position, are going to have to come up with the big defensive plays. And so far, with the help of a couple of penalties, the Tigers got the Bulldogs deep in their own territory. I don't look for Coach Tom McDaniels to try anything tricky on this down.
Mike, I see the Tiger offense down there. The line and quarterback Brian DeWitt jumping around. They are anxious to get back on the football field. And the Tiger defense can hold here. Third down and 31 yards. Ball at the 16 of McKinley. Montgomery, straight drop back. Hands off to Jenkins. Jenkins is cut down hard by Sam Clark and Derek Johnson. He lost about 2 yards. And the Tiger defense rises to the occasion right now.
Sam Clark levered towards Jenkins. The Tigers defensive front was not fooled by that draw. And the Massillon fans are on their feet and they are pumping up their team. And unless Reese and Coach a booming punt, Massillon should get pretty good field position.
Reese standing at the goal line. Snap back. Reese kicks it away. Pretty good kick. Running off on it. Stevens at the 41-yard line before he is dropped. Paul Brown. Right. First down and 10 for the Massillon Tigers. We're going to take a timeout. With 7:14 remaining to score. Massillon nothing, McKinley nothing.
Okay, Canal Shorten, now you got it where you want it. The Massillon AAA now has a Canal Shorten branch where you can make domestic and worldwide travel arrangements and get many of AAA's convenient services, including quick trips and tour books, right where and when you need them. And during grand opening week, November 6th through the 13th, register to win a 3-night Las Vegas trip for 2, a weekend for 2 at Sawmill Creek, grand opening week. That is where you want it.
Ran into him. Calhoun caught the football and picked up about 7 or 8 yards on the play. It'll be a first down to the McKinley 26-yard line. Can you believe it?
Right now, the Jays are going the Massillon Tigers' way. The Bulldogs had 2 penalties, 1 big flipping penalty on offense, and now a fumble picked up by Calhoun on an unplanned guard around. Picked up the first down after a pickup of about 7 yards.
First and 10. We'll call it the 27 of McKinley. Conley to the left. Geyser to the right. Spielman is the deep man in the eye now. Bush in the wing right. Handoff. Bush left side. 25. Bush to the 20. To the 19. And wrapped up hard. Brought down to pick up about 8 yards on the play. Tigers are inside the 20. Listen to this crowd.
A tremendous
on the stop.
A tremendous fake by Jim Bush. Head fake on McKinley's star monster back Garland Rivers at about the 25-yard line. Bush cut inside and picked up about 5 more yards. A super run by Jim Bush.
And you can feel the intensity here as the crowd on their feet now in several areas. At 5:18 remaining here in the third quarter. No score. Tigers on the march. Shifting to the eye. Spielman is the deep man at the 19. Pitch back to Spielman. He's got some blocking. Spielman to the 20. Spielman to the 15. Spielman down the 10 to the 9. They're inside the 10. It'll be another first down to the 9-yard line. He had some blocking. Caught that right side.
Pass sweep right. So Rick held the ball just a second longer. Toss to Spielman. Cut around the right side. Following the blocking of fullback Tim Sampson. 10-yard pickup. The Tigers with their best drive of the ball game.
Here we go now, Mike. McKinley's defense has been tough inside that 15 and 20-yard line radius. Just inside the 10 now. First and goal at the 9. Shifting to the eye. Spielman is the deep man once again. To DeWitt, the same play. Pitch back. Spielman to the 10, to the 5, down to the 6, down to the 4, to the 3. There's a flag on the play, however. A flag on the play.
And usually in that situation, you might get holding.
You just might. Spielman with a fine effort.
It's an illegal block, but it's about the same thing. It's a bad penalty against the Tigers, and right now, you doggone better believe it. Victor Park says move that football back.
So Spielman, after a nice run, got it down inside the 5. They will back it up immensely all the way out to the 25. What a crucial penalty.
A tremendous run by Spielman. He was hit at the 8, slid forward for a couple, and then went backwards, turning for 6 yards, but the penalty wipes it all out.
Well, it's now 1st and goal from the 25. That is something. Let's see what the Tigers can do. Number 81 checks in. That is Craig Pringle. Checking out for Conley. Craig Pringle, a reserve receiver. He's 5'10", 150 pounds, and the senior. He comes to the left. Geyser to the right. In the run and shoot. DeWitt's back to pass. He's under some heat. DeWitt is brought down all the way back at the 38-yard line. DeWitt never had time that time, and he is sacked all the way back at the 38. McKinley, tremendous rush.
A great play by that nose tackle, the quickest ball player on that McKinley ball club, Anthony McCullough, the key ingredient to the McKinley defense this season, 6'4", 212, a junior. He will be back next year, and he is checking out right now as the Bulldogs send in an extra linebacker. They will go to a 4-3 or a 4-4 defense, depending on where Rivers lines up.
How's this, Mike? 2nd down and goal from the 37. The Massillon Tigers will call a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. With 3:42 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Massillon Tigers nothing, McKinley nothing. We'll be back. Shoots Spielman. He in the backfield with the wing right. DeWitt back to pass. He's looking. He's lost the football. Bill takes the jump and pushes leveled at about the 32-yard line. He held on to the football. Pass is complete. Leo Cadden puts the boom down on Jim Bush.
A brilliant play by Leo Cadden. The McKinley defense will give up a little, but not a lot.
And they bring up 3rd down.
Delay play over the middle, and Cadden snowed it out.
John Pierce checks in with the play for the Tigers. Conley will come out. Geyser comes out. Pierce will go to the right, Conley to the left. 3rd down and 32.
The Tigers have to at least get 10 yards to get in representative field goal position.
They shift into the eye. Spielman is the deep man. DeWitt. Hands off. There's Pierce. Pierce gets it down the center. 52 play. 55 down to the 16. Down to the 16-yard line. 15 field goal range now. He is brought down. On the tackle for McKinley.
Checking with the sidelines, Jess Brown, Crystal, Tom Mangan, Tom Gruner, Bill Strickland, John Jordan, all checking in. The Tigers will attempt the field goal. It'll be about a
34-yard.
About a 34-yarder.
Yep.
Hash mark to the left.
Well, here's McKinley attempted a field goal in the first half. They were unable to do it. Jimmy Sampson comes in for Pfister. Now Sampson will attempt the kick. Snap down. Kick is up. The kick is long enough. The kick is no good. The kick is out to the left. It was long enough, but it was off to the left. A little bit of confusion by the Tigers kicking game that time. Pfister was all lined up. Sampson came running in and right at the last second. He kicked the football. It was wide to the left. No good.
And the McKinley Bulldogs, once again, come up with the big play. The penalty started it, but the sack by the playoff also was an instrumental part of the McKinley defense.
Clock stopped with 2:16 left here in the 3rd quarter. No score in this ball game. What a classic contest we have had.
And Chris Montgomery gave the staying at quarterback, and I noticed Bob Becker limping out to his center position.
That's interesting. I wonder how long they will stay with Montgomery. You know he plays defense as well. They're in the I formation. Montgomery still hit Clark. Clark is stacked up by Spielman right there. He has some help in the middle of the defensive line, including John Frankie. And Ziegler was there as well. George Ziegler in the last series went off holding his shoulder. He's back in, and he looks at full strength.
And those fine two-way performers have met each other on opposite sides of the line the entire game. Parks and Spielman going at it one-on-one.
Something else. 2nd down, and we'll call it 7 yards to go. Ball at the McKinley 23-yard line. Andre goes wide to the right. Lewis is to the left. Or I should say opposite that. Pitch to Jenkins right back. 20. He's up and back and 6-yard line before he was knocked out of bounds, make it closer to the 29. Big collision. Tom Mannion, Marcel Stevens, Ziegler, and Spielman all were over there to make sure Jenkins didn't get any more yardage than he did.
That was a good block by the tight end, Chris Brooks, there as he held his man to the inside and enabled Jenkins to turn the corner.
Ty Beadle checks in now. Third down and a little less than a full yard. Ty Beadle is in for meet up front now. Tigers, 4 people right on that line of scrimmage.
If the Bulldogs are going to power the ball, I look for Vic Park to carry it.
They're in 2 tight end formation in the T. Montgomery hands to Park. Park stepping to the first down. I think Park will have the first down.
Tremendous second effort by Vic Park. Spielman hit him at about the 29 and fell forward. And he got the Bulldogs first down.
Yes, they did. Very crucial for the Bulldogs. They get a first down right at that 30-yard line. We'll make it stop at 31.
The messenger guards for the Bulldogs are their left guard, number 74, Tom Daniels, and number 60, Claude Brown. They are bringing in the plays from the Bulldogs bench.
Bob Becker, the center, is definitely limping out to the center position.
He's a fine 2-year performer, though.
Lewis wide to the left. He is the lone wide man. Montgomery pitch to Jenkins, right-hand side. Jenkins to the 34 and then dropped by Spielman. We'll give him about the 33-yard line on the carry. Pick up better half of 2 yards, close to 3 probably.
And we're under a minute in the third quarter. Another fast quarter.
Oh my!
The first quarter was fast, and so is this one did.
49 seconds, maybe one more play here in the third quarter. That will be it. Cannot believe it. Which Jenkins, this game is on.
Well, when you keep the ball on the ground and play back and forth, the clock will run, especially if you stay in bounds.
That's so true. They're in the eye. Lewis. Hands off to Jenkins. Jenkins powering. He's got close. He's out to about the 38-yard line. On the stop, John Frankie, number 99, the middle guard for the Tigers. Chris Spielman there, as well as Sam Clark.
And Matt Reeves, who is the Bulldogs punter, has now checked in at right tackle. He started the season for the Bulldogs at that right tackle position. Was replaced by Sean Fagan the last couple of ball games, but now Coach Thomas Daniels has gone to the senior.
Well, Charles Calhoun is checked in at the defensive tackle, replacing Sam Parker, who's the nose guard, replacing John Frankie. We have played 3 quarters of football here at Paul Brown Tigers Stadium. We go to the fourth quarter. As time runs out this quarter, the Tigers nothing, McKinley nothing. We're back to fourth quarter action. Faced with a third down and 2 at their own 30, we'll call it the 39-yard line.
I know players have gone for a little more size, Calhoun at left tackle and Clark at nose tackle.
Third down and about 2. They're in the wing T. Hand out to Clark. Clark, he's going to stop short at the first down. I don't think he got anything. He didn't even get close, Danny. He got hit at the 38 and get him down. The other side is piling up.
Jared Johnson's in on the tackle. Calhoun, Ziegler, Spielman,
among others, and there's a McKinley player down. I think it's Park. He's doing up rather slowly. Yes, he is, but he looks like he's okay. Brings up a fourth down situation for the Bulldogs. 4th and 2 from their 39-yard line.
I don't know if Tom McDaniels would gamble in this situation.
Well, I'll tell you what. Something's got to give.
Watch out for the long snap count.
Something has got to give. Officials calling for timeouts. Timeout is charged to the Massillon Tigers. We will take a timeout with 11:21 remaining in the 4th and final quarter. The score, the Tigers nothing and McKinley nothing.
The ball on their own 39-yard line.
Maui on Hawaii Airlines.
and 10. He's dropped out of bounds by Jeff Spielman, number 15. First and 10 for the Massillon Tigers. 11-11 showing on the clock here in the fourth quarter. No score.
4 ones left on the board and 2 zeros as far as the score.
On opposite sides. Mike, we were talking during the timeout. Something has to give.
A big play.
There's got to be a big play. Something, I don't know what. I have the feeling it's going to happen.
Both teams have had penalties, kill drives.
That's right. Geyser comes to the right. Conley goes to the left. Sampson's the fullback. They shift to the I now with Bushking being the deep back. DeWitt looking to pass. He's under some heat. Fake, fires. Caught. And yes, the catch is made by Chris Spielman. Kept those feet in bounds at the 37-yard line. Pickup of about 7 yards.
And that is Spielman's fourth catch of the ball game.
They have gone to Chris Spielman a lot today coming out of the backfield. Tiger passer receivers have not gotten into a steady route very hard against other teams.
Well, in last season's game, Rick Spielman hit on 8 passes, and every one of them was to running back. Today, DeWitt has completed 6-5 to running back.
They shift into the I now. Second down and 3. Spielman is the deep man. Handoff. Spielman to the 40. Spielman fakes the tackle and falls forward to about the 43-yard line. I think Chris Spielman may be getting a little tired right now.
He looks a little tired. He also ran into his back with Jim Bush on that play, but the most important thing he did was hang on to the football and get the first down.
Garland Rivers popped him pretty good. It'll be first and 10 for the Tigers at the 44. They're on the 44-yard line. Conley checks in. Pierce checks out. 10-15 clock running. As you know, if this game should end in a tie, the Tigers would go to the playoffs.
The Bulldogs have to realize that. They might start taking some gambles like blitzing, stunning, shooting linebackers, trying to get a turnover.
In motion to the right. DeWitt's back to pass. Fires the football. He's got his man. Nice catch by Geyser. Geyser makes the catch down at the 43-yard line of McKinley. I just happened to be watching Geyser. It looked like he was going to go long. He stopped immediately, turned around. DeWitt delivered the pass.
And he drove the defensive back, Kevin Thomas, back about 7 or 8 yards on that play.
First and 10. The Tigers at the McKinley 44-yard line. 9:49 clock running. Pierce to the left. Geyser goes to the right. Is that Geyser's first catch of the afternoon?
He caught one earlier.
All right. Shifting to the I. Spielman the deep back now. DeWitt. Back to pass. He's looking. He's got his man out the hands of Bush. Down at the 37 of McKinley. Incomplete pass a little bit low. And DeWitt, I think, hurried it just a little as well.
Bush is out there. A little out pat, a little square out. DeWitt just half has hit on 3 of 4 passes for 23 yards. For the game, he has hit on 7 out of 14 passes with 1 interception for 71 yards.
Second down and 10 at the McKinley 44-yard line. Clock has stopped. 9:33 here in the fourth quarter. Stopped on the incomplete pass. Conley to the left. Geyser to the right. Spielman in motion to the right. DeWitt pitches to Sample. Sample to 45. Sample chugging along. Sample knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line of McKinley. Sample got settled out of bounds by Leo Cadden. Garland Rivers was there as well. A McKinley player is down at Parks. Parks has been a member of the Walking Wounded this afternoon. He comes up limping a little bit.
And if it's on his ankles, he's going to have to come out because he's had bad ankles. He had bone spurs on his ankles. Anthony McCullough showing that tremendous quickness, almost chasing Sample down and pulled him down at the 45.
Mike number 52, Marvin Wynn is in, and Vic Parks does leave the ball game. McKinley wants signals for and gets a timeout. So, McKinley making a couple defensive adjustments. We're going to take a timeout. 9:24 remaining fourth quarter. Once again, no score from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. 9:24 remaining here in the fourth quarter. We have no score. Let's check the situation. It is a third down for the Tigers.
Third down and 5 on the 39-yard line. The Tigers in the running shoot offense. Conley out at left end, Geyser at right end. They're shifting into the aisle.
Bush is the deep man. DeWitt, hands off Spielman. Spielman got the win. To the 35, to the 30. Spielman knocked out at the 27-yard line. Give Jim Geyser credit. Jim Geyser and Rick Hammett with 2 blocks on Dale Jackson was pinched in, and that opened up the hole. Spielman picked up 13 yards. A Tiger first down. Mike Marvin Wynn is checking out limping. Here comes Vic Parks, number 48, back in the game. And how about that?
Wynn is hobbling. Parks is just limping. There is a difference.
Second down and 10 from the 27-yard line. A shift into the eye. Bush is the deep back. 8:58 remaining. Spielman in motion to the right. DeWitt, the pitch to Bush. Bush to 30. Bush to the 27. He plows ahead to the 25. Pickup of about, we'll give him 2, maybe 3 yards.
That was all
McKinley
Jim
closed
Bush.
it down. Right, McKinley closed that down well. Kevin Thomas, the backup tailback.
And Dale Jackson is starting to limp along with Thomas. The Bulldogs are starting to get physically worn down.
Number 86, Randy Faulkner, is limping a little bit as well as they go back to the huddle. I'll tell you, both teams have given it their all this afternoon. We have seen a great, great football game as we expected.
McKinley's defense has played superbly.
They have. No one counted on McKinley shutting down the Tigers like this. 0-0 with 8:14. Spielman, handoff, he's on the 20. Spielman, to the 15, fighting down to the 13. What an individual effort. The hole originally was there. Spielman took Garland Rivers with him for 5 yards. And he had to have some help by Leo Cadden. Spielman down to the 13. And Mike, if you remember in the first half, the Tigers were down here inside the 10. They were at the 9. A big penalty moved them back, and they were not able to get any closer. Here is the same situation once again.
A simple off-guard play between Hanna and Calhoun with Stanford, the lead blocker. Tremendous hole. Spielman, as an excellent runner would, picked the hole and got a first down.
And if it's any consolation for the Tigers, are heading into the end zone, which is all Tiger fans at south end zone. 7:43, clock running. 1st and 10 at the 13. DeWitt. Reverse to Bush. Bush. Pass and catch to the side. Bush to the right. He's going to do it. And down to the 1-yard line. Here's Bush. A tremendous. I thought Bush was talking about the 10-yard line. He was hit. He was straight up. He just bounced off. Straight off the right side. This is undoubtedly the best scoring play in the ballgame for the Tigers. Okay, we have a 1st and goal at the 1 for the Tigers at the 1-yard line. Dale Jackson made the KD saving tackle. As Mike said, Bush was stopped at the line of scrimmage. Kept on his feet. 1st and goal at the 1. This is by far the most serious scoring threat we've had. Ends are in tight. They shift into the eye. Look for Spielman now. He's the deep back. DeWitt gets the hands to Spielman. Spielman walks in. He walks in for the touchdown. The Tigers are on the ball with 7 on in. He walks in on right here outside. Listen to this crowd.
And as Dave Sheets has said all season, the Tigers, when they go to the front and better, go to the right side. A tremendous block by Mike Bushman. And Martino, who clinched in on Dale Jackson. And Chris Montgomery, the Tigers draw first play with 1 second left in the ballgame.
They will attempt the extra point. Mannion will hold it to 10. Bronx Fisher will try and add the extra point. The kick is up. The kick is short, and the kick is good. Not quite the length that Bronx Fisher usually adds an extra point, but nonetheless, it gets the job done.
This week, I worked for Canton McKinley Senior High School to put 7 players in the ballgame and open up the airways.
We're going to take a timeout with 7:01 remaining. Massillon on top now, 7-0. We'll be back. Has been pleased to once again to bring you Massillon Tigers
with the ball deep in their own territory.
Not something that you want to do at this point in the game, or any point actually. The clipping penalty goes against the Tigers. The ball will be placed at the 12-yard line. McKinley with an excellent shot to hold the Tigers deep and get good field position.
If the Tigers can crank out a couple of first downs, they can start this ball game away, but the Bulldogs defense will be fired up. Look for the monster back Garland Rivers and the outside linebacker Victor Parks to play up close and try to make the Tigers think pass.
Geyser to the right. Conley to the left. In the run and shoot, 1st and 10 at the 12, chipped into the eye. Spielman is the deep man. Hammond snaps to DeWitt, gives to Spielman. Spielman gets outside, 15. Spielman spins to 19 before he is knocked down by Garland Rivers. Garland Rivers really lowered the boom on Spielman as he twisted away. He took it out to the 19, good yardage.
And a fine block by the wide receiver, Jerry Conley, on the cornerback Kevin Thomas. as that opened the hole, and Spielman picked up 7 yards.
Second down and 17.
Correct that, Dave. That was a dead ball penalty.
Okay. Second down and 17 yards to go for Massillon. Ball at the Tiger 20-yard line.
And that penalty even hurts more, being a dead ball penalty.
Second and 17. Conley to the left. Pierce now to the right. Bush is the deep man in the eye. DeWitt hands to Bush. Bush, no, he fakes, throws to Spielman. Spielman makes the catch to 30. Spielman still on his feet, so he is wrestled out of bounds at the 31-yard line of McKinley. Good yardage again for the Tigers. The pickup is close, I do believe, about 7 yards, or I should say 10 yards.
And one of the Tigers is down again. And
Timmy Sample.
It looks like the fullback Sample. He looks like he has a cramp in his right leg.
Sample sitting at the 19-yard line. The Tigers will be faced now, Mike, with a third down and 5, ball at their own 31-yard line. Clock is stopped with 5:11 left. 7-0 is our score. The Massillon Tigers getting on the board on an 8-play drive, taking over on their 31-yard line. Using 4 minutes and 10 seconds, Chris Spielman took it in on a 1-yard touchdown run after a fine run, getting it down to the goal line by the senior Jim Bush.
Massillon Tigers just doing it on the ground. They have played more of a power type of game. McKinley has shut Gary Conley down as far as receiving. No catches. Jim Geiser has caught 2 for 27 yards. The big receiver has been Chris Spielman. He has caught 5 passes for 50 yards.
Jimmy Sampson looks like he is all right. Mike, as you mentioned, I think he had a cramp. He is walking off. He'll probably be in the next play, I'm sure. Third down and 5 now. Very big play for the Massillon Tigers. The ball is spotted at their 31-yard line. They have to get to about the 37, so we'll make it third down and a long 5, close to 6. Conley goes to the left. Geiser to the right. Bruno is the fullback. They shift into the eye. Bush is the deep man now. DeWitt. Back to pass. He's looking. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. DeWitt knocked down. He was looking, I think, for...
That was Spielman. That was big number 88, Dale Jackson. 6'4", 225. He's batted away quite a few passes. He was a basketball player last year, and he used that jumping ability to smack that pass right down DeWitt's throat.
Well, give McKinley credit. They held the Tigers when they had to. The 5:06 clock is stopped.
And they also held him twice by stopping the clock on the incompletion and the out-of-bounds pass play.
DeWitt will punt at his own 20-yard line. Deep Lewis and Montgomery. Good snap back. They're coming. DeWitt gets the kick off. A pretty good kick. Lewis lets it hit. It hits at the 40-yard line. Is batted down there. I think they'll mark it at the 39-yard line of McKinley.
Well, here we go. A 22-yard punt. More importantly, no return. 4 minutes, 58 seconds left. The Tigers defense need to stop McKinley one more time.
Yes, they are called upon again, Mike.
Parrish back in at quarterback. Look for McKinley to throw on more than just one down on this series.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line. Andre goes wide to the right. Lewis to the left. They're in the T. Parrish back to pass. Looking. He hits Andre on the right side. Gets away from Robinson. Gets away from another man. And Andre wrestled out of bounds. He took it all the way up to about the 44, the 45. Picked up 5 yards. Chris Spielman wrapped him up. That time, good individual effort by Eddie Andre, the fine wide receiver for the Bulldogs.
On those little flanker screens, if you keep throwing enough of them, you can move the defensive back up, pump fake, and then burn them long. Maybe that's McKinley's theory.
Second down, and we'll call it 6 yards to go. Ball at the 44. Andre goes right. Lewis again to the left. Brooks is in tight at left end. They're in the eye. Parks the fullback. Jenkins the tailback. Parrish back to pass. He's looking. He fires. He's got his man Andre. Andre with a super catch. Super catch by Andre. Conley makes the stop. Andre gets the pass completed all the way up to the Tiger 44-yard line.
And Parrish put that right on the numbers. Andre using his fine athletic ability, going up in the air, knowing he was going to be hit, tucked the ball in, picked up 12 yards on the play. First down for the Bulldogs.
Well, Mike, McKinley moving the football, going to their strength. Eddie Andre, their fine receiver. He goes to the right. Lewis goes to the left. Split backfield. Parrish back to pass. He's looking. He's got Lewis on the far side. Lewis gets away from one man, gets away from another, and they shut him down. Lewis will be stopped for no gain. A lot of excitement, but the Tigers swarm Lewis under. Tim Sweater, that's number 75, ends up making the tackle. Derek Johnson was there as well. No gain. A lot of excitement, but no yardage.
Derek Johnson got out there from his defensive right end position and forced that play back toward the inside, and Lewis was smothered for no gain.
Ball to 45, second just a little over 10 yards. 3:40, clock running. Tigers lead 7-0. Lewis goes wide to the right. Key in the backfield. Parrish back to pass. He's looking. He throws the football. It's caught by Brooks at the 30. Brooks is knocked out of bounds at the Tiger 29-yard line. Another first down from McKinley. Right now, Parrish is on the money on the tackle. Marcel Stevens knocked Brooks out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
That was the second best pass route run by the Bulldog receivers that time. Andre from his wide receiver position cleared, went deep about the 20. Brooks Parks is hobbling.
Yes, he
But
is.
he's staying in there. He is quite a game youngster.
Eddie Andre goes to the right. Lewis comes to the near side, which is left right now. They're in the eye in the backfield. Parrish, back to pass. He's got time. He looks, he throws. Andre makes a super catch. Andre makes the catch at the 14-yard line. Went high in the air. The pass was high. Andre made the catch down at the 14. It's another first down. We'll call it the 15. First and 10, McKinley.
A tremendous catch by Eddie Andre. The pass was a little high, but Andre showed his fine leaping ability, brought the ball in. The Bulldogs are mounting a drive.
Mike, you have to give McKinley a lot of credit, along with Kevin Parrish. The line has given him time again, time all the time he needs back there. Tiger defensive line not putting too much pressure. Hand off to Lewis on the reverse. Lewis down to about the 12, struggling down to the 11. Spielman had to work hard to bring him down. Guys was there to help clean up. He is down to, we'll call it the 11-yard line.
Clock is running, 2:19.
Mike, and you've got to think, you have to, you almost count on if McKinley scores.
Oh, they got to go for two because if they work with the tie, they're not going to make the playoffs. You go for the win.
They're at the 12-yard line right now. That Tiger defense has got to stiffen. Second down, we'll call it 7. At the 12, under 2 minutes remaining. Parrish, back to pass. He's looking. He throws. Runs the pass. Intercepted by Mannion. Mannion picks it up at 12 and 15. Mannion knocks out of bounds. Back all the way back at the 20-yard line. Here we are. Pass for Tony Mannion. It's a 2-play. And right in the end zone is Carlos Lewis waving his hand down. The pass is open for a first down. But the monster back Mannion plays center field. Picks it up. And I think he's going to put Massillon into the playoffs against Kentucky and let the Tigers turn that ball over. That pass, Lewis was open in the corner. There were 4 Tigers, however, over there. The pass was just slightly underthrown. Mannion jumped into the air. Two-handed catch. They did say Mannion, they'll call him. The ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line. The Tigers with a first and 10. A minute 45 left.
McKinley has 2 timeouts remaining,
Right.
and they will undoubtedly use them. The Tigers will probably run out of that backfield we saw against Akron Central Howard. The robust team. No, they're going into the running shoot.
They go to run and shoot.
They'll keep it on the ground.
They shift into the eye. Bush is the deep back. DeWitt gets the football, gives to Bush. Bush to the 20. And you can see the McKinley defenders trying to rip that football out. And Bush goes into the line with 2 hands wrapped tightly around the ball. He advances it to the 22. And we have a timeout called for. The McKinley Bulldogs take a timeout with 1:31 remaining. They have 1 left. We're going to take a timeout as well. They score Massillon 7 and McKinley nothing. 22-yard line. Handoff. That is Spielman. Spielman gets away in 25. Spielman in 30 and knocked out of bounds finally on the 33-yard line. He has enough for the first down.
Dave, I think that might be it. The Tigers put in Scott Hendershot, number 55, as a tight end, a double tight end offense. Hendershot made the key block along with Ty Beadle.
There's Vic Parks. He's got up slowly. He's limping. What a ball game Mr. Vic Parks has played for McKinley. Give him all the credit in the world. Give this McKinley defense all the credit in the world.
It was ridiculed after last week's game against North Canton, and as I said earlier on my show this morning, that they will be up for Massillon. This is not North Canton Hoover, and that defense has played tremendously.
It's a first down and 10 ball at the 33-yard line of Massillon. A minute 25. People are heading for the exits. I don't understand why. 3 backs in the backfield. The give to Spielman. Spielman, 20 to 35. He turns up to the 36-yard line. He picked up. We'll give him a 4 on the play. A minute 15. Clock is stopped. Our clock is running now. A minute 10. The Tigers, if they can hang on, will host Sandusky here at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium next Saturday. Next Saturday, the Sandusky Blue Streaks. I understand they have very quick team, a very quick team speed, and they will be ready, no doubt about it, for the Massillon Tigers.
This second half, Chris Spielman unofficially 10 carries, 78 yards, and 1 big touchdown.
There's your difference. 43 seconds. McKinley can no longer call timeout. Handoff. That is Spielman, right. Spielman carries the football to the 38-yard line. There is a timeout.
The Bulldogs did have one left.
Okay, there is the final timeout for the McKinley Bulldogs. Just 37 seconds left. 7-0, the Massillon Tigers. They scored that touchdown in the fourth quarter. With 11:11 remaining after a 10-play drive, they scored with 7:01. It was a 4-minute and 10-second drive, a 1-yard touchdown run by the junior wingback and linebacker, Chris Spielman, off the right-hand side. Again, the Tigers go to that right-hand side when it's bread and butter time.
Unless something disastrous happens on this possession by the Massillon Tigers, there will be a new Division I state champion in 1982. McKinley defended their title quite admirably. They played the toughest schedule in the school's history. Their only loss came in the second game of the season to Cincinnati Moeller, but McKinley has improved immeasurably since then.
So the situation now, the most important thing, the time on the clock, 37 seconds. Massillon is faced with a third down and about 4.5 yards to go. Ball at the Tiger 38-yard line. Listen to these fans. They love it. They have seen a super ball game on a beautiful and crisp Saturday afternoon. Conley goes wide to the left. 3 people in the backfield. Spielman is the deep man. Not any kind of certain formation. Handoff to Spielman. Spielman to the 41-yard line. 32 seconds left. Bring up a 4th down. And the celebration starts on the sidelines. 25 seconds, clock running. What a ball game, Mike. You couldn't have asked for a better football game today.
And Jimmy Geiser limping off the field on his left foot. And
I hope he isn't hurt at this point.
The Bulldogs are crestfallen. Seconds left. Down on his front, just dejected.
5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. The Massillon Tigers have defeated the McKinley Bulldogs this afternoon at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. One of the best football games I've ever seen. You'll hear announcers say that time in, time out, but I'm totally honest this afternoon. The Tigers win a thriller, 7-0. Mike?
Dave, a tremendous effort. As I see number 73 for Canton McKinley walking off. He will be back to play in another one of these ball games next season. Anthony McCullough, him along with Victor Parks and Garland Rivers were the stars of that McKinley defense. A defense that was ridiculed coming into this ball game. A defense that played a tremendous ball game. They broke down only one time, and it cost them the ball game. But their defense should not be ashamed after this performance today. The offense.
McKinley walking very dejectedly off the field. We have seen one super ball game this afternoon.
as they play Eye of the Tiger, the theme song for the Massillon Tigers this year. What a celebration and mania going on here at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. Mike, any further comments?
I just thought it was one tremendous ball game, and congratulations to the Camp McKinley Bulldogs. They had a great season, 8-2, as I mentioned, against an awesome schedule. And the Massillon Tigers, 10 wins in 10 starts. Who would have thought it at the beginning of this season? Massillon, one returning starter off that team of last season, and that was junior linebacker Chris Spielman. Mike Kearns made a big experiment, moved Spielman to wingback in addition to his linebacking duties, and decided for the first time to play some players both ways, and it paid off for him this season. And credit to the offensive line coach, because he molded quite an offensive front five for the Tigers.
The final score from Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, Massillon 7, McKinley nothing. We'll be back with our post-game show, so stay tuned.